It's no wonder after 30 plus years that the trunk boot cover in a Ferrari 308 would be all cracked and moldy, and mine definitely was. So I got a new one off of eBay and I'm going to put it in today. And this may be one of the easiest things to do on a Ferrari because this cover just pulls right up. It's one of those things that just annoyed me when I got the car. It's pretty in so many other, it's so nice in so many ways, and yet I just keep looking at that. But that's the insanity of owning a Ferrari and being a car guy. You see what everybody else doesn't. Okay, so now the rubber's off. All right, I'm just gonna rest the rubber molding over there. Now there are 4 screws that need to come out, 2 on each side, right around where the support is for the latch. Okay, we've got all 4 screws out, and now we'll just lift out the old piece. And now you see the support comes right out, and it's nicely cracked. Well, what's to be expected after all this time? So again, I'm going to go gently here and pull everything up and out. It's going to want to crack, so extra caution. This is, after all, still an original part. Now for this front seam, from what I can see, the factory may have used a tiny little bit of glue to keep this front edge on. I'm not really sure how much glue is involved here. I'm going to say, if any, very, very little, because I don't see a lot of residue or feel it, and you don't see any of the telltale yellow stuff in here. Seems there's definitely glue near where this repair was. Okay. And there it is. It's out. And this is the replacement that I bought from eBay, and it looks to be pretty well made. It's got some nice reinforcements in here where those screws are going to go. We'll have to poke some holes, it looks like. And the quality of the vinyl isn't quite OEM, but it's pretty close. Seems like the old has a little bit more grain to it. This is the old ones again, and the new. And the new zipper isn't quite as thick as the old zipper. And now we'll just take the new unit, the new piece, and lay it in, centered around the latches. Now getting these screws lined up, since there are no holes here pre-drilled, is a little bit tricky. See the holes in the body there. And what we're going to do is center the piece so that the latch is kind of centered in the place, and then just pull this back a little bit, and using an awl will make holes in line with the holes in the chassis. Notice that this one is a little farther to the rear, and we're going to make a hole that's in line with the hole in the body. Now I'm just going to get this started a little bit and then lean on it so that it has a nice flat surface to work under, so I don't bend the masonite or whatever's in there to support it. Going to make it in line with the hole, but kind of in the middle, whereas the other one was a little bit towards the front. That's only because this hole seems to be pushed a little further back. So we'll just get that started, and then we'll slide it back so that it's on a level surface and work our way through it. And going back through the other way actually will make the screw a little easier to penetrate. And now we'll just get the screws. You'll see when I pull this out that there is definitely extra material here. So we'll have to cut when we're done. But that's way better than not having enough. So that's all set. Now we'll just get the rubber weather stripping around it and start to pull it tight. And I'll start with the corner here. I'll just get the corner part of the molding in the right place and work this around a little bit, and then pull tight on this side just to keep things tight as I go, pushing this down. We don't have to push everything all the way down initially. We just want to get it in place before we do our final adjustments. So you see some wrinkles here, and what we're going to do is just kind of pull this tight or taut and then work the molding down till it gets not quite tight as a drum, but tight enough to lose the wrinkles. Lots of trimming to be done when this is finished. So I've got the rubber seal loosely holding it, and it's pretty tight. It's in pretty good shape. There are a few things I'll need to steam out once I have everything set and ready to go. But now what I'm going to do is glue it down. The adhesive I'm using here is DAP Weldwood Landau trim. It's amazingly strong stuff. You coat both sides and you wait a couple minutes, and then when you put those two sides together, you're not getting them apart. So the moral of the story is make sure everything is the way you want it before you set it up. That's also a reason why I got everything set up here and wanted to make sure that everything was tight before I went and did the adhesive, and then did the adhesive in phases. Now I'm only going to do the adhesive on this top side here because it doesn't appear as if these back edges had any adhesive from the factory, and the windlace holds it really well, so no need to over glue. Then work your way all the way around, pressing on this windlace until you feel it move a little under your hand. You'll feel when it hits home. Just a little bit of a slide into it. You can kind of see visually too, but you'll feel it. Now you'll see there are a couple indentations here that came from shipping when it was folded, and the way we're going to get rid of that is with steam, the magic weapon. So here we go. Okay, so you can see the steam has taken out like 90% of the indentation there, and the rest will probably just come out over time. It's good stuff, steam, and you can use it in here too. Now that everything looks nice and tight, it's time to trim, and we're going to need a very, very sharp blade. I just put a new one in here. Let's go. Needless to say, when you're taking a razor blade to your Ferrari, you want to be careful. I'm going to use the bottom edge of the windlace as a guide, pulling the extra material a little tight, and then running the blade right along the edge of where this rubber is. Use it as a guide, and try not to tilt too into it, because then you'll cut the rubber. Once you get it started, it moves pretty quick. And here's the finished project. Really nice and taut. Fits really well. It's a well-made aftermarket part. If you found this video helpful or entertaining or both, please hit like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks and enjoy.